Good morning, all. This is Architect Divya, Assistant Professor, School of Architecture. Today, we are going to see the course Site Surveying and Planning, in which we'll be covering the following topics: Introduction to Site and Site Surveying, definition for plot, site, land, region, unit of measurement, introduction to survey, methods of surveying and their uses, surveying instruments and their application, need for surveying. First, what is site planning? So, site planning is the art and science of arranging the structures on the land and shaping the spaces between, and arts of arranging uses of land linked to architecture, engineering, landscape architecture, and city planning. So, site plan locate objects and activities in space and time. These plans may concern a small cluster of houses, a single building and its grounds, or something as extensive as small community built in a single operation. So, site planning is a interdisciplinary subject. Designate the uses of land in detail by selecting and analyzing sites, forming land use plans, organizing vehicular and pedestrian circulation, designing visual form and material concepts, readjusting the existing landforms by design grading, providing proper drainage, and developing the construction details necessary to carry out projects. So as I said, it is interdisciplinary in which site planning consists of urban planning, architecture, civil engineering, and landscape architecture. So coming for the definition, first we are going to see about plot. What is plot? A small piece of land that has been marked or measured for a particular purpose. Plot is a diagram which shows the buildings, utility layout, the position of routes, and other construction of an existing or proposed site at a defined scale. Typically, it contains retained and proposed building, landscape elements, above ground features and obstructions, major infrastructure routes, property boundaries, setbacks. So as shown in the picture, um, the roads have been shown and the plot sizes have been shown, and also some landscape elements also shown. Next is the site, an area of a ground on which a town or building or monument is constructed. The place where a structure of group of structures is to be located. A plot of land prepared for a underlying a structure or development. The location of a property is also said to be site. So, location of a particular property is called as site, and plot is different. Only the landscape features and the site boundaries will show the plot. Land, any part of the earth's surface not covered by water body, an area of a ground with specific boundaries. Land includes all physical elements in the wealth of a nation best owned by nature, such as climate, environment, fields, forests, minerals, mountains, lakes, streams, trees, and animals. Region is a device of an area generalization, a large, usually continuous segment of Earth's surface or space. A large, indefinite portion of Earth's surface. This is how we divide, like region 1, region 3. According to it can be divided according to the climate, according to the food, according to the type of people. So the region can be divided according to the different categories. Region in an area on the Earth's surface marked by certain properties that are homogeneous inside and distinct from outside it. A region is defined as a part of Earth's surface with one or many similar characteristics that make it unique from other areas. Regional geography studies the specific unique characteristic of place related to their culture, economy, topography, as I said, climate, politics, and environmental factors such as their different species of flora and fauna. Environment and quality of life. Site planning is the organization of the external physical environment to accommodate human behavior. It deals with the qualities and location of structures, land, activities, and living things. It creates a pattern of those elements in space and time, which will be subject to continuous future management and change. Particularly, spirit of place, character of the place, nature of the project, and behavioral studies. The overview: four basic models of site planning in history. That is, first, fixing the place. Next, defining the enclosure, sense of order, form of axial. So, fixing the place. The gray color shows the site and white shows the building. So, we are fixing up the space, defining the enclosure. So, we are creating some enclosure for that space. Sense of order. So, this is the difference between the second and third, and this in this we have created the enclosure in which we are properly ordered according to the sense. This is a form of axial. So there's a proper axial symmetrical thing that is happening, so it is placed according to the symmetrical axis. This is an example for that. So fixing up the space, the image and form of the object, building, are capable of fixing a place. In here, we are fixing the enclosure, that is defining the enclosure, a collection of independent structures which, although unattached, create a coherent image of the space. So there are different buildings, and there are in which they are defining the enclosure. We can see this in the plan. The space has been created and the enclosure is also created. Sense of order. A form of a building can be such that a place may be fixed by the enclosure of facades. According to the sense of order, it has been placed. It's a form of axial. So in the same plan, the axial has been formed, and the different roads were created for the different enclosures. Although the kinetic implications of the word path are somewhat contradictory, paths are nonetheless capable of forming coherent, meaningful images. So paths are not so important in our design, but here the paths are creating the form of axial, symmetrical, balanced creature for the site. So these are the layers of site planning. We have mason space, zoning, circulation, service, and maintenance. Unit of measurement. A unit of measurement is the definite magnitude of a quantity defined and adopted by convention or by law, that is used as a standard for measurement of the same quantity. The most widely used system of units is the International System of Units, SI. In surveying, the most commonly used units defines quantities of length or distance, area, volume, and horizontal or vertical angles. Measuring the land is the integral quantitative element of surveying. The most common measurement followed in India are acres, vihas, biswas, etc. There are two types of measurements used in the building survey, that is metric system and feet and inches system. So metric system, the basic unit of the length in the SI system is meter. The meter was originally intended to be 1/10 millionth of the distance from the equator to the North Pole at sea level. The meter has since been redefined as the distance traveled by light in a vacuum. Subdivisions of meters are millimeters, centimeters, decimeters. Multiples of meters are decameter, hectometer, kilometer. So here we can see in the tabular column, 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeters and 100 centimeters and 10 decimeters, and 1 decameter is 10 meters, 1 hectometer is 100 meters, and 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. Foot and inches. The basic units for length or distance measurement in the English system are the inch, foot, yard, and mile. Other units of length also include the rod, furlong, and chain. 1 foot is 12 inches. Units of measurement: length, area, volume, mass, angular measurements, temperature, and pressure. Surveying. Surveying is the art of science of determining the relative positions of various points on the surface of the earth by measuring the horizontal and vertical distances, angles, and taking the details of these points, and by preparing a map or plan into any suitable scale. Surveying is the technique and science of accurately determining the terrestrial or three-dimensional space, position of points, and the distance and angles between them. In order to accomplish their objective, surveyors use elements of geometry, engineering, mathematics, physics, and law. So there are two types of surveying. Basically, one is plane surveying, and other one is a geotechnic surveying. And in plane surveying, Earth's surface is considered as a plane surface. The curvature of the Earth is ignored. Line joining any two stations is considered to be straight. The triangle formed by any 3 point is considered as plane. The angles of the triangle are considered as plane angles. Carried out for a small area that is below 250 square kilometer. Carried by local and state, irrigation department, railway department, etc. Whereas in the geotechnic surveying, Earth's surface is considered as curved surface. The curvature of the Earth is taken into account. Line joining any two stations is considered to be spherical. A triangle formed by any 3 points is considered as spherical. The angles of the triangle are considered as spherical angles carried out for the small areas that is greater than 250 square meter. Indian Survey Department will take this. And basically, the difference is the first one will be considered as a plain thing, and second one is a curved surface. Whereas for the first one, only for the square kilometers, which is less than 250 kilometers, and this is more than 250 kilometers. Classification of survey. Survey may be classified into three types according to the purpose of resulting map. First is based on the nature of field survey. Second is based on object of the survey based on instruments. First, nature of field survey. So in field survey, we have three types of survey. That is, first one is a land survey. Next is a marine survey. Next is astronomical survey. So basically for our department, we will be concentrating on land survey. We just want to know what is marine and astronomical. In land survey, we have survey, cadastral survey, city survey. Land survey is first one is a topographical survey is made to determine the natural features of the country, that is hills, valleys, rivers, forests, villages, towns, etc. Cadastral survey are made in incident the fixing of property lines, boundaries of fields, plots, houses and other properties. City survey is made in connection with the construction of streets, water supply systems, sewers and other works. Marine and hydrographical survey deals with bodies of water for purpose of navigation, water supply, harbor works, or to determine the sea level. Astronomical survey determining the absolute location and direction of any line on the surface of the earth. This consists in observation to the heavenly bodies such as sun or any fixed star. So basically marine is for water survey and astronomical is the survey that is made for different planets. Based on the object of survey, first is engineering survey, next is military survey, mine survey, geological survey, and archaeological survey. Engineering survey afford a sufficient data for designing of engineering works such as roads, sewage disposal, and water supply. Military survey is used for determining points of strategic importance. Mine survey is used for exploring mineral wealth, and geological survey used for determining the different strata in the earth crust. Archaeological survey used for unearthing relics of antiquity. So basically we'll be concentrating on engineering survey because this will be used for making roads and sewage disposal and water supply and the slope, everything can be done through engineering survey. So military survey is not under our category, and mine survey is used for exploring mineral wealth. So each stage have particular mineral wealth that can be surveyed through mine survey. Geological survey we have while doing the soil test and all, we'll be knowing the different material, different type of soil that is under the earth. So we can survey that details through geological survey. Archaeological survey is surveying of the historic buildings, historic sites, etc. Based on the instruments, chain survey, theodolite survey, transverse survey, triangulation survey, tachometric survey, plane table survey, photogrammetric survey, and aerial survey. Chain survey is the simplest method of surveying. Only linear measurements are made and no angular measurements. The area to be surveyed is divided into triangles, and the triangles are measured directly in the field. In chain survey, a network of triangles are preferred. Angles of the triangle not smaller than 30 degree and greater than 120 degree. So chain survey is the length of the chain will be 20 to 30 meters. Number of links per meter length is 5 meters. Length of each link is 20 centimeter, and tallies are provided at every 5 meters. Small brass rings are provided at every meter except tallies are provided. So this is a chain survey image, and these are the tallies that is given in every fifth meter. So for every 1 meter there will be a small brass. In the fifth meter it will be avoided because tallies will be there in the fifth meter. So this is a chain survey. This is a chain used for chain survey. Different types of chain is metric chain, Gunter's chain, engineer's chain. So generally metric chain is divided into 100 or 150 links. The length of the chain is measured from outside of one angle to outside the other. Gunter's chain exactly 22 yards, about 20 meter long, and divided into 100 links. Engineer's chain used by the surveyors for measuring out lands and plot sizes. The chain measures 100 feet and contains 100 links. Each link measures 12 inches. Different types of chains. Revenue chain, commonly used in measuring fields in the cadastral survey. The length of the chain is 33 feet long and divided into 16 links. Each link measures nearly 2 feet. The steel bar or band chain, length will be 20 to 30 meter, width is 16 mm. Brass tallies are fixed at every 5 meter length band. Transpose survey. Transposing is the type of survey in which a number of survey lines from the framework. The direction and length of the survey lines are measured with the help of an angle measuring instrument and a tape respectively. Transverse survey is of two types. One is open transverse, other is a closed transverse. Open transverse survey, when the survey lines of the circuit end elsewhere, it is said to be an open transverse. The open transverse is suitable for surveying along narrow strip of land as required for a road or canal or the coastline. Closed transverse survey, when the survey lines from the circuit which ends at the starting point, it is known as the closed transverse. A closed transverse is suitable for locating the boundaries of the lake, woods, etc., and for the survey of large spaces. Methods of transversing includes chain transversing, chain and compass transversing, transit and tape transversing, plane table transversing. So the whole work is done with the chain and tape. No angle measuring instrument is used. The direction of lines are fixed entirely by linear measurements. Angles fixed by linear measurements are known as chain angles. Chain and compass transversing. In chain and compass transversing, the magnetic bearing of the survey lines are measured by the compass, and the length of the lines are measured either by chain or with a tape. The direction of magnetic meridian is established at each transfer station independently. The method is also known as free or loose needle method. The theodolite fitted with a compass may also be used for measuring the magnetic bearings. Next is tape and transit transversing. The angles are measured with a transit or theodolite. Distance is measured with a tape or by chain. The transit and tape permitted the more precise measurements necessary in the land subdivision planning, the construction surveying, and nearly all the land boundaries. This method is used for most surveying work. Plane table surveying. Plane table transverse involves the same principle as a transit transverse. At each successive station, the table is set, a foresight is taken to the following station, and its location is plotted by measuring the distance between the two stations as in radiation method. This is a triangulation survey. Triangulation survey is basic method of surveying. When the area is to be surveyed in the large, triangulation is adopted. The entire area is divided into a network of triangles. Triangulation is a surveying method that measures the angle in triangle and formed by three control points. Using trigonometry and other measured length of just one side, the other distance of the triangle are calculated. So this sketch shows the triangulation survey, and the whole area, this is the plot area, this is the land area, and the whole land area is divided into multiple triangles. So this place has been divided as a two triangles, and here the triangle and the formation of small triangles. Here this isometric triangle, and this is a trigonometrical. Using trigonometry, the measurements can be identified, and the triangle is formed over here, and here we can create two triangles. So using all these triangles, the area and the distance has been calculated using triangulation survey method. The measured distance in the first triangle is known as baseline. The angles in the triangles are measured using theodolite. In triangulation, the vertical angles are not needed, but they can be used to measure the different height between the points. So this is called the baseline in the triangulation survey. This is called the baseline. With the reference of this, we can create multiple triangles. So angles can be measured using theodolite. So for the triangulation survey, we don't need to calculate the vertical angles. Only for the different heights that can be measured. Tachyometric survey. Tachyometric survey is a theodolite installed with stadia diaphragm. Stadia diaphragm is equipped with 3 horizontal airs and 1 vertical air. We can take 3 vertical Stoff reading at the same instrument settings, that is lowermost air reading, central air reading, and top air reading. The difference between the lower air reading and the upper air reading gives a Stoff intercept. This method is very rapid and convenient. It is best adopted in obstacles such as steep and broken ground, deep valleys, stretches of water, or swamp. So these instruments, the instruments required for the carrying out tachymetric survey are tachymeter and stadia rod. So the picture shows various patterns of stadia diaphragm. So this is a direct diaphragm, and this angle diaphragm, this is a grid diaphragm, and it's a small unit diaphragm, and this is a three-oriented diaphragm, and it shows again the gridded one, but small grids. Methods of tachymetry survey: stadia air method, fixed, in which we have a fixed air method, movable air method. So this is the instrument. Tangential method, using stadia air method, different that is the central air, and movable fixed air is also fixed. In that ratio, the length of perpendicular to the base is constant in case of similar triangles. The crosshairs of the diaphragm are kept at a constant distance apart, and the Stoff intercept varies with horizontal and vertical positions of the Stoff with respect to the theodolite. The movable air method, the Stoff intercept between the lower air and the upper air is kept constant by moving the horizontal crosshair in the vertical plane. The difference is here the lower air and the upper air is kept constant, whereas the crosshair of the diaphragm the fixed constant in the first method. Only crosshair reading is noted down, and generally 2 angular observations are taken to calculate the horizontal and vertical distance. Plane table survey. A plane tabling is a graphical method of survey in which the field observations and plotting proceed simultaneously. It means of making a manuscript map in the field while the ground can be seen by the topographer without intermediate steps of recording and transcribing field notes. It can be used to tie topography by existing control and to carry its own control system by triangulation or transverse. So in this method, we need a drawing table in the side. So as shown here, a table will be created, and different point is noted. The diagonals has to be checked. This diagonal has to be checked. The distance between C, D, and E, A and B, and B and C, and E and A. This has to be checked in the side exactly, and it has been drafted the same place. So instruments used for the plane table survey includes the plane table with leveling edge having arrangements of leveling, rotation around vertical axis, clamping, added for sighting, plumbing work and plumb bomb, spirit level, compass, drawing paper with a rainproof cover. So since if rain comes, so drawing paper with a rainproof cover is needed. Compass, yes, spirit level to check the level of each places, and plumbing fork and plumb bob, validate for sighting. And for sighting means from the particular position the distance has been sighting use the validate, leveling, rotation about vertical axis, and clamping. Photogrammetric survey is the practice of determining the geometric properties of objects from photographic images. This involves estimating the three-dimensional coordinates of points on the object. These are determined by measurements made in two or more photographic images taken from different positions. Common points are identified on each image. A line of sight or ray can be constructed from the camera location to the point on the object. It is the intersection of these rays triangulation that determines the three-dimensional location of the point. Next is aerial survey. Aerial survey is a method of collecting information conducted from an airborne platform. This is collected by using aerial photography, radar, or laser scanning. It is often recognized similarly as a aerophotogrammetry part of photogrammetry, where a camera is mounted on the aircraft. Aerial survey is different to satellite imagery because of its better resolution, quality, and atmospheric condition. So this is same as a satellite image. Last is a theodolite survey. Theodolite is the most precise instrument designed for the measurement of horizontal and vertical angles. Has widely applicability in surveying, such as laying of horizontal angles, locating points on line, prolonging survey lines, establishing grades, determining difference in elevation, setting out curves, etc. Theodolite may be classified as transit theodolite and non-transit theodolite. A transit theodolite is one in which the line of sight can be reversed by revolving the telescope through 180 degrees in the vertical plane. A non-transit theodolite or either plain theodolite or wide theodolite in which the telescope cannot be transited. The transit is mainly used and non-transit theodolite have to now become obsolete. So these are theodolite and the parts of theodolite. So telescope, vertical circle, and index frame, strands, wrapper plate, lower plate, leveling head, shifting head, plane level, report, plumb bob, magnetic complex. So totally, theodolite survey is one of the very easiest survey method for identifying the levels. Telescope. A telescope is a focusing instrument which has the object piece at one end and eyepiece at the other end. It rotates about the horizontal axis in vertical plane. The graduations are up to an accuracy of 20 feet. Vertical circle. Vertical circle is fitted to telescope and moves simultaneously with telescope. It has graduation in each quadrant number from 0 to 90 degrees. Index frame. Index frame, it is also called as sheaf frame or vernier frame. It consists of two arms, vertical and horizontal. Vertical arm helps to lock the telescope at desired level, and horizontal arm is used to take the measurements of vertical angles. The standards are the frames which supports the telescope and allow it to rotate about vertical axis. Generally, these are in letter A shape, so standards are also called a A-frame. The upper plate, this is also called as a vernier plate. The top surface of the upper plate gives support to the standards. It also consists an upper clamping screw with respect to tangent screw, which helps to fixing it to the lower plate. When the upper clamping screw is tightened, both upper and lower plates are attached and moved together. It's some relative motion because of upper tangent screw. The upper plate also consists two verniers with magnifiers which are arranged diagonally. It is attached to inner spindle. The lower plate, this is also called as scale plate. because it contains a scale on which 0 to 360 readings are graduated. It is attached to the outer spindle and consists lower clamping screw. If lower clamp screw is loosened and upper clamp screw is tightened, both plates can rotate together. Similarly, if lower clamping screw is tightened and upper clamp is loosened, then only upper plate is movable and lower plate is fixed with the branch plate. The leveling edge. The leveling edge contains two parallel triangular plates called as tribridge plates. The upper one is known as upper tribridge plate and used to level the upper plate and telescope with help of leveling screws provided at its three ends. The lower one is called as lower tribridge and it is attached to the tripod stand. The shifting edge. Shifting edge also contains two parallel plates which are moved one over the other within small area. Shifting edge lies before the lower plate. It is useful to centering the whole instrument over the station. Plate level. Plate levels are carried by the upper plate which are right angles to each other with one of them is parallel to Trunnion axis. The plate levels help the telescope to settle in exact vertical position. Tripod is nothing but a stand on which theodolite is mounted. It should place in such a way that theodolite should be in exact leveled position. The tripod has legs with steel shoes at their ends. These hold the ground strongly without any movement when placed. Tripod has an external screw which helps to attach the theodolite by tribridge plate in fixed position. Plumb bob. Plumb bob is a tool having a cone-shaped weight attached to a long thread. The weight is hanged using thread from the center of tripod stand and centering of theodolite is done. Magnetic compass. Simpler theodolites may contain circular compass box in the center of upper plate. When we select north as reference meridian, it will be useful. So that's all about the surveying, different surveying. And up to this, we are finishing the first unit and we'll be seeing the second unit on the next video. Thank you.